one time, he was the softest apple you could ever get.
She's bad. He's not bad.
I know. But there's just a few members that you just want to love on the others. It's that time. You ready?
Down there, Dusty. Where are you?
Are we missing one?
Nope. I think we got a one,
We
two,
just got an
three,
extra chair
four,
up
five,
here.
six, seven, yeah. Steven, do we stink over here?
No, I sat down first. So, I don't know, you tell me.
All right, we all ready?
Let's go.
Y'all ready? Well, thank you all for joining us today. I think we're ready to get started. Do I have a motion to resume our meeting for today?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, we'll do a roll call. Dusty? No, all in favor? Dusty? Lael? Gary? Gary Miles? Gary Ball?
Here.
Tim?
Here.
Myself? Here?
Don?
Don?
Here.
All right. So please rise and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Join us in prayer, please.
Heavenly Father, Lord, we just come to you today, and we ask you, Lord, just continue to be with us, guide us as we go through the business of Treasure Lake. Lord, that we focus on you as we make decisions, and Lord, that your guiding hand will guide us through these decisions. Lord, that you would comfort each one of us, and Lord, that you would just give us the grace that we need. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. You may be seated. All right, do we have any veterans in the room with us today? Would you please rise so we can recognize you? And thank you for your service. Spouses, any spouses in the room today?
Yeah.
Thank you for yeah. And any former board members we'd like to recognize? None today? All right. Well, again, thank you for joining us today. I have a little statement I would like to read before we get started. So we're going to open the floor today for questions at the end of our meeting. Please take note that some questions may need to be researched for a proper answer from the entire board and not just the opinion of only one board member. With that being said, there must be a respectful exchange between the board and each owner. There will be no laughing, booing, or inappropriate comments thrown out that causes disruption to the discussions. Actions will be taken swiftly if this occurs to gain control of the situation. You as owners deserve answers to your questions, but this is not going to be used as a platform to vent your frustrations. One-on-one discussions with any of us are the proper place for that type of discussion. So we'd appreciate your cooperation with that. And to start us off, we'd kind of like to give an overview of what we worked on this morning in our prior session. So we understand that the church services were suspended, or ended actually, a couple of weeks ago, simply because we didn't have anybody else to fulfill the lead on that. But we do have a couple of people that are interested in conducting those church services, and we hope to have a couple of rotating pastors starting again October 5th. And we hope to have that continue through the end of November, which would be about around the 23rd. So I'm sure Stephen will keep us updated, and we hope to see that back on the agenda starting October 5th. Okay? We've had a couple of questions on deed transfers, and we wanted to reiterate that the fee for transfers is $300, and it states that if you are transferring to a family member, it is $75. And we wanted to state or clarify what a family member is, and it's pretty much anything up until cousins. So cousins, we kind of draw the line, but grandparents, parents, siblings, all considered family, but when it becomes a cousin situation, they would then need to pay the $300. This also applies to TOD transfers. They would fall into that same category. So we just wanted to clarify that. Let's see here. I think that was the two main things that we get questions about, so we just wanted to clarify that. So, Mr. Gary Miles, do you have a treasurer's report?
I'm going to give you some updates for the year. Total revenue, $2.1 million. That's $36,000 ahead of where we were in 2024. Cost of sales is down by $33,500. Operating expenses year to date is down $148,000. Our comprehensive activity, so our bottom line, is at $311,000, which is $176,000 better than where we were at the same time last year. Cash and investments, last year at this time we had $879,500 in the bank, and in July of 2025 we've got $1,500,000 in the bank. The financials for August are delayed in being posted because we've had 2 finance committee meetings this week, about 11-12 hours total this week, and we still have a couple items that we don't have confidence in our numbers, so those will be posted sometime next week.
All right, thank you, Gary. Okay, committee reports. Do we have a report from the Rules and Regulations? Gary Ball?
We don't have a report at this time.
Thank you. How about Insurance Committee?
Same at this point. We are having a meeting this coming week, and we'll report back at the next meeting accordingly.
Thank you. And Lael with the Long-Term Planning Committee.
A full report at this time. We did meet and are moving forward, and we'll have big announcements coming up in the next few months.
And Stephen, would you like to give a manager's update?
Absolutely. Got a new mic situation we're working with here. Can you hear me now? All right. Membership sales, we're proud to report. We've had an outstanding year so far. In 2024, our sales as of September 17th were 292 memberships sold, 881 currently in the vault. Food and beverage, the R&R Grill will remain open at current hours until November 8th, and the weekend breakfast will continue Saturdays and Sundays 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. And our hope is to keep that open until November 8th as well. Veterans Day float sign-up will be released on October 11th, so be on the lookout for that. Fall Volunteer Day, November 7th. And I mentioned this in my Meet the Manager meetings, but projects include maintenance building, cleanup, power washing cabins, refreshing mulching of the Welcome Center, deep cleaning the lodge and clubhouse. If you're interested, please contact Amy at tlresort.com. Our storage audit was complete, and compliance letters will be sent out by the end of this month. We have 33 6-month spots available and 15 annual spots. We continue to enforce requirements and remove non-compliant units. We are looking at combining the 6-month and annual storage lists. This list would be combined and duplicates would be removed. We would be using the individual's earliest entry to rank each person on the combined list. And then as new 6-month contracts renew, we would be offering a prorated annual contract to get everybody on the same billing cycle. Campground software update. After reviewing our campground software system, we have selected NewBook. In January is our implementation date for the new system. Pond and landscape enhancements. We are still working on the pond area, including landscaping, putting up a gazebo and installing some fire pits. We will also be stocking the pond in the fall as well. And let's see, gate cards. The question came up at a couple of Meet the Manager meetings about gate cards. We did receive a new supply of gate cards, so they are available at the front. 2025 annual meeting, save the date, October 25th, 2025 at 10 a.m. Hughes Brother Theater, and Revive will be performing. Board election update, there are 3 board seats open, 9 candidates qualified. Candidate bios are available on the park bulletin boards at the Welcome Center Lodge and Clubhouse, the park TV screens, and on our website. Ballots were mailed September 5th. Return deadline is October 22nd. There's also ballots available at our Welcome Center. These ballots can be returned in our secure drop box at the Welcome Center, and ballots will be counted October 22nd through 23rd. Meet the candidate forums. The first one is today at 4 p.m. after this board meeting. and the second one will be held on October 4th from 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. A recent complaint was submitted to both the Better Business Bureau and the Missouri Attorney General's office, alleging that Treasure Lake RV Resort improperly charges fees on debit card transactions and profits from credit card surcharges. To clarify, Treasure Lake RV Resort uses Shift 4's Advantage program, which applies a 4% surcharge to credit card transactions only. This fee is collected directly by Shift 4, our third-party payment processor. Treasure Lake does not retain or profit from any portion of this surcharge. Additionally, PIN pads are not available at our front desk, meaning debit PIN-based transactions cannot be processed. All card transactions at the front desk are processed as credit, making the surcharge both permissible and compliant with applicable laws and credit card network rules. This matter has been previously explained to this individual involved on multiple occasions, and the claims made do not reflect the actual practices or policies of the resort. We remain committed to legal compliance, financial transparency, and upholding the trust and confidence of our members. Additional updates about those two complaints will be made available as we get them.
All right, thank you, Stephen. Stephen mentioned a couple of things that involve volunteers, and just on behalf of the board, I'd like to take the opportunity to again thank all of our volunteers and our work campers and our staff for the awesome job that they do in contributing to the operations of this park. They make it fun. They help keep it in order. They do so much. They go above and beyond to help ensure that you all have a great time here. And let's just give them all a round of applause because we appreciate it very much. So the season's not over. We've got a lot of fun things coming up. We hope you're going to stick around through annual meeting and beyond. I know our activities department is working hard to ensure that activities continue. And Annie, Amy, thank you guys so much for all you do and to your teams as well. So, we have a couple of motions. We have a couple of motions here. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the August 16th and the August 29th meeting? Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, we're going to do a roll call. Gary Ball?
Yes.
Yes. Don Carter?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Lael? Yes. Gary Miles?
Yes.
Tim Wells?
Yes.
And did I miss anybody? Dustin?
Yes.
All right, all approved, thank you. And at this point, do we have a motion to adjourn? We will. Yeah, do we have a motion? We're going to open up the floor in just a couple minutes, but do we have a motion to adjourn this part of the meeting?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All in favor? Or, I'm sorry, do we have a second? Sorry.
Second.
Gary?
Yeah.
All in favor? Any opposed? All right, so we would like to open up the floor for questions. Should anybody would like to come to the mic and speak up. Again, keep in mind the little rules that we read in the beginning. This should be orderly and respectful.
Are we doing this?
Yeah, that comes after.
That comes after?
Yeah. And please state your name and
My name is Terry Parsons. I recently had occasion to look at the rules that are on the Treasure Lake website, and some of those rules are not up to date. I would like to know what efforts are being made to get those up to date and any future changes to implement that on the website as soon as possible.
So I'll actually take that one. That was a miscommunication between the board and I. Those will be updated shortly. So I would say no later than Tuesday evening we'll have those updated, the most updated version.
Okay. I'd like to make one other comment. I had an occasion to talk to security regarding one of those rules last week, and it appears that some of our security people do not know what the rules are. They need to be well versed on what the rules are. Thank you.
Would you mind touching base with me afterwards, and I'll I'd love to hear what exactly happened.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any questions?
Marilyn Gray. A couple years ago, we had those new sites put in over in Phase 3, and the following year, they were supposed to be made pull-throughs. Is there anything going to be done with those to make them pull-through?
Yeah, so as we discussed in the Meet the Manager meeting, there are certainly plans to have additional pull-throughs. There's also plans for additional concrete sites this year. One of the things that we wanted to make sure that we do is get member feedback on which areas should be updated first. So the long-term planning committee has went around and actually measured all the sites. And now we've got, for the first time ever, information on all of our sites, which we can then use to decide which sites need to be upgraded first. So,
Okay,
yep,
thank you.
absolutely. It's
Thank
top
you.
of mind for us.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Yeah.
I'll give it to you.
Courtney Ness. I guess I've got a question for you guys. So we just went through the board meeting, right, where we talked about the finance committee, and we talked about the long-term planning committee, and we talked about the annual meeting that's coming up, and all of these things. Then you guys approved the minutes for the last few sessions, right? Am I correct?
Mhm.
Does anyone know what those minutes were for the last few sessions that they just approved? Do we know what they talked about? Okay, that was my question. Thanks.
If you'd been here at those meetings, you would have heard the discussions.
Calm down. So would you rather for us to read those minutes at each board session? Okay. We'll make a change in our platform and we'll read them if that's what you want to. We don't have a problem with reading the minutes. Okay. Thank you, Courtney.
Les Carlson. Try to get plenty of time for next year. It seems to be only a major issue during the crowded season, and that's the people who will park their extra vehicles, pickups, that in the bathroom parking spots and take up most of the spots. Myself, my brother, and I've seen a few other people who have to park in the street to be able to use the laundry. Can we make at least 2 or 3 spots closest to the bathroom doors? Put a time limit on it, maybe 1 hour, give people time to shower. And, you always leave 1 or 2 spots for them, but that's something that's been an issue for years, and nothing's ever been done about it. A couple of years ago, they said they was going to get signs made and put up. It never happened.
Earlier this year, it was decided to make signs. Those signs are printed. When we looked at how to affix them to the bathhouses, just the pole idea was going to be pretty costly, so we spent some time looking at other ways that we could affix them. We've decided to move forward with the poles. So the signs are printed. It's a great idea. Those signs will say, this space is for bathhouse use only. Now, obviously, somebody can still park there, so we ask that owners, adhere to that, but at least there'll be a sign reminding people.
Yeah, I mean, will there be anything done to have those people move them if they ignore that sign?
I mean, if something is... yeah.
Being courteous hasn't worked. So,
Yeah, I get that. If it was reported that that it was obvious that somebody was staying there, was security notice that the same vehicle was there for a long time, we would certainly take action to pull that parking sign.
appreciate
Yeah,
it.
I just don't want to overpromise. I mean, I don't want to say that we would be the first to catch it every time it happens. So, but if we saw it, we would certainly take action. If somebody reported it, we would certainly take action.
Thank you.
Thanks, Liz. Any other questions?
I'm new. My name's Priscilla Treese, and this is in reference to the last gentleman that just spoke about the restrooms when you're saying about the cost of putting poles in. And sometimes poles aren't so good because some people bang into them, then they knock them over and that. Why can't you just paint it like you do a handicap spot when you put a wheelchair and a person in it? Just paint there, restaurant use only, and then it's up to security to drive around every once in a while and see whose car is still in there over an hour. Sounds like a lot more reasonable cost-wise. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll do both of them.
Any other questions? Comments? All right, as a board, we do have a couple more things that we'd like to go over if there are no more questions. Just wanted to read something to you that serving on the board is a volunteer service. As we move into elections, we want to remind everyone that serving on the board is a volunteer role. Every current board member serves with the best intentions and a shared love for our park. During the transition to finding Stephen as our new park manager, many of us invested 10, 20, even more hours per week of our personal time to keep things running smoothly. Members of the Finance Committee, Gary and Dustin, often continue to dedicate 10 to 20 hours a week to rebuilding and correcting financial records so that our reporting is accurate and reliable going forward. This kind of work doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, dedication, and a willingness to serve. We ask for your grace and understanding as the board continues to put forth this effort to ensure the park's future growth and success. Another thing we want to address on social media, we're also aware that a lot of questions and concerns sometimes surface on social media. Please keep in mind that the board does not monitor social channels. That would be a full-time job. And that those discussions are not official channels of communication. We have an official Treasure Lake Facebook page. If you have concerns, we ask that you bring them to the board directly so we can address them in proper forum. Many of the topics circulating recently are very important topics, and we want to be sure that they are addressed transparently and accurately. And we have a few of those outlined today that some of us are going to talk about. So Don, you want to start us off?
Okay. I understand there's questions about the removal of a board member. Our bylaws and policies are very clear. Board members are held to a standard of confidentiality and conduct, and removable is not something we take lightly. In this case, removal is based on the violation of those standards. When we say breach of confidentiality, we mean the information that should remain private was shared in executive session and is a very sensitive discussion, sometimes about personnel or other items about topics that could harm the park permanently. Every board member takes an oath to protect the park at its fullest, and sometimes it means difficult decisions must be made when someone breaks that oath. Because this matter was handled in an executive session, we are not able to disclose the details. However, the official action is documented in the July board meetings. And in the July board meetings, I've got a copy of it. If anybody wants to read it, I'm more than happy to let you read it. A motion was made to remove Brian Norton from the board of directors for breach of confidentiality and lack of professionalism as a board president with the general manager per Article 5, Section 11 of the bylaws. And I have Article 5 if you want to read it. The motion was made by Gary Miles. It was seconded by Lael. Gary Ball voted no. Don Carter voted yes. Julie Jordan voted yes. Lael voted yes. Gary Miles voted yes. And Brian Norton no. Tim voted yes. What was put in this discussion was put in the discussion exactly the way Mr. Norton wanted us to write it down. So I would assume that if you need any more questions, feel free to ask Brian and kind of go down that road. The next thing is, we also have been asked about board members who have been removed is able to run again. Our rules do not currently reflect someone currently restrict someone from running, from seeking an election after removal. We felt, as a board, it would be unfair to implement that this year, considering we were this close to election. It would take a rule change vote to change it from the membership. We're currently discussing this for our new year coming.
All right, thank you, Don. Okay, Lael, we're going to talk about nightly fees and our capital campaign.
I'd like to talk about the two topics that I know I've had a lot of questions about and I've seen a lot of conversation about, and that's nightly fees and the capital campaign. So earlier this year, when the board was brainstorming to come up with any idea to get more people camping, because that's where our money comes from, we decided to try a trial reduction of the nightly fees. They were $15 a night, and we decided to reduce those to $12 to try to increase the number of people staying, and we hoped it would make it possible for people to stay longer. After monitoring the results, because we've kept our eye on that data, we did not see at this point the increase that we'd hoped to see in the site nights. And so because that's not what we had hoped for, we are now looking to see if we should consider reverting our fees back to the original $15 a night. Separately, we launched a capital campaign to raise funds for major park improvements. We realized when we were starting this long-range planning committee, and we have major infrastructure needs like roofs and pretty much everything in the park. Those of you that are here, you know, it has a lot of needs. We started asking for those capital campaigns, and you guys have come through. I think we're about halfway, a little over halfway. That's a celebration.
Amen.
We've heard some members express hesitation about contributing because of the nightly fee change, and I totally understand that that can seem confusing. I want to emphasize that there are two different strategies with different purposes. The fee reduction was a short-term trial aimed at increasing the number of stays, while the capital campaign is a long-term investment opportunity for every member to contribute towards improving the park infrastructure, which will benefit every one of us. Our commitment as a board remains the same: protect our reserves, increase site usage, and make needed improvements that benefit everyone on the park. We won't be voting on this today, but I would like to open the floor to owner input.
Yeah, so if anybody has any comments or concerns on raising our rates back to the $15, yeas or nays, if you'd like to come up and make a statement, you're welcome to do so. Yeah, come on up.
Wes Carlson again. Myself, I have no problem with the $15. I just wanted to point out something. The wife and I just got back yesterday to here, staying for a few days before we're going home. We've been to Ohio and Kentucky, and Thursday night we spent the night in a member park up towards St. Louis. And with the information pack I got from it, I don't know what their memberships cost, but their dues are $1,500 a year. Now you get 40 nights of camping for that, but that still works out to $37 a night. Some of the roads are paved, most of them are gravel, very few 50 amp spots, and looks nothing like Treasure Lake. So, I mean, it's to keep it going, $15 a night's not bad at all.
Thank you.
Les, I just got back from Kentucky and Ohio as well. I wonder if we cross paths somewhere. I was in Covington, so probably not. Thank you.
Terry Bradley, been members 2012. This place is an amazing place. If everybody just thinks about what you're paying for that site alone, okay. But the amenities that we have here in the park along with it, you don't have that at other places. So just consider all of the amenities that you have along with your $12 or $15 to have your RV there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Come on up.
I'm Susan Petty, and I've been traveling a lot. I've been to many, many parks, and I do have to agree this is one of the nicest parks that I've ever, an owner's park, that I've had the opportunity to stay at. A lot of the parks, and I'm also a member of RPI, of course, I don't know if you know what that is, that's owner's park affiliated that I get to use, I appreciate. One of the things I've noticed is they have their rates usually based flat, like $10 a night or 12. But then they also have an upcharge for 50 amp. So if you have 50 amp, you'll pay at least $3 more or $5 more. So when I go into an RPI, I may pay my $10, but somebody with 50 amp may pay 12 or 15. Or maybe their rate is $15, but a 50 amp may pay $18 to $20. So that's the kind of thing I'd like to see, is people who have the 3 air conditioners and the 50 amp versus the 30 amp. Maybe, you know, maybe keeping us at 12 and maybe doing the $15 for the 50 amp people, because they are using more utilities versus what I'm using. But I do appreciate the $12, and I like the $12 versus the $15. But I'm sure there's more of you that probably use the park than me. But I do come in every year, and this is a wonderful park. It's beautiful, well kept up, even though we still have our little issues. You know, every park has their issues, but there's more parks that have more issues than we do by far. So, and I appreciate all you guys and all your hard work.
Thank you, Susan.
Thank you.
Definitely be sharing that with the Long Range Planning Committee too, because I think that that's an idea that they would love to hear.
Marilyn Gray. Do you think we could consider raising the fee to join Treasure Lake? $1,000 is way too little. A lot of people paid big bucks when they first joined here. I don't remember what we paid. I didn't pay attention to it. But $1,500 is too cheap to join Treasure Lake. I think we need to up the price.
The coupon that we issued.
Yeah, the coupon,
was
I understand it, yeah.
intended to try to get
Yeah.
some of those out of the vault and get those sold. I mean, we haven't even sold all of those at the $1,000 level.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we struggle
Yeah.
on that. I agree with you that this park is worth way more
Yeah.
than $1,500. So I think that's why we're trying to look at other ways to raise some revenue to offset some of those things that we have really not a lot of control over.
Yeah.
You know, we need to look at ways to bring our work campers in and recognize and reward those them for their hard work. And, you know, we don't charge for a lot of the amenities, we don't charge for entertainment. So we've got to look at some other ways, and, you know, site nights is one way that we can bring in some of that revenue back, so.
And like the other lady had said about some campers have 3 air conditioners. Yes, I have 3 air conditioners. Yeah, do I use 3? Hell no.
It's hard to use one sometimes, isn't it? It gets cold in those.
I tell you, 95% of the time, we only run the one up front. My husband thinks I'm nuts, but I'm cold all the time, so even in 90-degree weather. So our bedroom one hardly ever gets run, and that middle one, I don't even know where the heck that comes in at, because it's not necessary. But so a lot of people don't even use the 3 of them. a lot of people that I've talked to, they kind of senseless in a way. A lot of people just say, I got 3 air conditioners.
Thank you, Marilyn.
Let me add something too. When those memberships sit in the vault, we get nothing for those. When they're sold, even at $1,000, now we're getting $180 a year in dues, which figure 1,000 of those at $180, that goes a long ways. For us on the financial side, we're looking at that income. So that's one of the reasons that we did the $1,000, because we've had a lot of those memberships. We had, like 1,500 memberships in the vault that earn us nothing. So that's another consideration too. And the other thing too is a lot of times you have to look at what people are reselling those memberships for. When they're reselling them for $500 or $750, then that makes it harder for us to sell ours at $1,500.
And Gary, the other thing about selling the memberships, once we empty the vault, the demand of the membership will make the price increase on its own. Supply and demand. But right now, there are people out there, and you all know, on the internet selling them less than what we can sell them for. So hopefully we'll get to that happy medium. We don't know when, but hopefully we'll get there. But I'm one of the ones that bought in at the higher price, so.
And one other thing on this discussion topic is regarding the capital campaign. I mean, nightly fees, you know, we want people to camp, we want people to stay. That's a good source of revenue for us. And we felt with the capital campaign, the nightly fees just applies to us campers who are camping, right? But we have a ton of other members out there. They bought into the park for some reason. They must love the park. They want to be an owner of the park. So we thought the capital campaign, by specifying just a couple of projects and giving you the breakout cost of what it would take to make those 2 improvements, and in this case it was pond restoration and roofs and painting, I believe, or just roofs?
Roofs and painting.
Roofs and painting. We broke it down and it came to $25 per owner. And we thought that was a great way to get everybody to help us, all owners, to contribute to the betterment of our park. And we're hoping that quickly we can recoup that money and start another capital campaign for another project, so that again, all owners can have a buy-in for Treasure Lake and keep us going. So that's the difference in the two. You know, the nightly fees, we don't want to raise it either. I mean, we're all on budgets, and some of us limited incomes, and we don't want to see those raised, but sometimes it's just something that we have to do. And, you know, talk to your fellow campers and explain to them the capital campaign, it's totally separate, and the reason we did that again was so that all owners, not those just that camp, can have a buy-in of helping our park continue to thrive. So. Okay, we're going to continue on.
You got a question?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Come on to the mic.
You're a Chiefs fan, so I'll let you in.
My name's John House. I go by Dog, and I agree with everything that was said. What Gary said, Marilyn said, but I sort of had a brain fart out there, and I haven't done the ciphering. What would hurt to go to 15, and if you want to stay 7 days, you get the 7th day free. Get more people into the park.
Can you say that one more time? I'm sorry.
If they stayed 7 days, they get the 7th day free. They pay the 15 for the first 6.
Oh, okay.
And on that, I think go back to what Gary said, I think part of that why people can't sell their site more than 500, because the other people are getting that year free, you know, the dues and stuff. Mm-hmm. And the $375 where we have to pay it. And but if they did go up to say 1,500, couldn't they put a date? Because there's people on the fence out there, I know, that are thinking, oh, do we really want to do that? Maybe then they'd come out and say, we better do it. It's going to go up. But I'm not, like I say, I didn't do any ciphering. I just figured at 15 and 9, that's what, 90 for 6 days. I don't know what 7 times 12. How much? Anyway, you're going to maybe entice people to get out here more, because I'm seeing it slow down already, and I don't like that. I like to talk to people.
We want to see it like July all the time. I mean,
Yeah.
that's our goal. We want to, and, you know, I think with what
Okay.
we're doing, you know, we're really trying to strive that.
I'll slowly saunter back.
Thank you, John.
Thank you. Sure.
Come on up.
I just want to say that as long as we keep the, like I said, I'm a new owner here, but I think as long as we keep the prices down, the $1,500 or whatever, or the $12 or the $15, and it's not about the 3 air conditioners or the 2 air conditioners, it's about the 30 or the 50 amp. I mean, you compare a 50 amp RV to a 30 amp RV. I mean, they have washer dryers, they have this, they have fireplaces, they have a lot more. So I think that's a great determination there between the 30 and the 50 amp, not the number of air conditioners. But also, if we keep the price down, we get more people in. Maybe they stay longer, maybe they don't. But while they're here, they're going to spend more money. So if we raise the price too high, people, yes, they'll come, but then they'll cheap out once they get here. If we keep the price low, maybe they'll stay another day, but then they'll eat at the cafe, they'll do this, they'll do that, they'll spend more money on property, which increases our bottom line.
And that's why we dropped it the first time, because that's what we were hoping would be the situation.
Yes,
So,
yeah.
we just haven't quite seen that yet.
Well, it's still new.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Come on up.
Idea on the 12 and 15, we have a lot of sites that are larger and smaller, so maybe that would be a better price change. So if they had a smaller site, that they would have a smaller price. A larger site, a bigger price. Because they have a bigger RV.
These are all great suggestions and comments, and that's why we wanted to open the mic up for your opinions, because we will be taking all this
Thank
into
you.
account.
Hi, I want to say something. My name's Diane Murphy, and I would a lot rather see us go back to the $15 a night and be able to use that money that we're going to gain to be able to start doing more and more improvements. I think the improvements to the park and the things for the younger people are going to draw in. I know the $1,000 thing was amazing because we talked our daughter and son-in-law into getting a membership, and because they love the park. But I think we need, I mean, we have great amenities, I know, but you travel across the country and go to different parks and you won't find any park for less than, you know, that amount. So I think I'd rather go back to the 15.
Thank you.
All right, I think we're going to end that discussion. We have a couple more things to go over, and then we'll have to end for our candidate forum. But Tim, we've seen a couple of questions on the volunteer breakfast.
All right, so this question has come up a couple of times. I believe it's even been answered a couple of times, but if it's still a concern, we'll put it out there. But we've been asked about funds raised during the volunteer breakfast where projects were earmarked but not completed. After reviewing the records, it appears that under previous management, these funds were placed in general operations budget rather than tracked for the intended improvements. So, Gary, you want to add anything to that? But I mean, that's kind of where we're stuck. Oh, is there? Wait a minute, y'all.
So with the way we're doing accounting now, any money that comes into the park that is earmarked, like, oh, sorry about that. I thought I'm loud enough. So with the new accounting software that we have today, we can track every donation that is gave to the park. It is earmarked. So if the capital project money is earmarked, we can't spend that money for anything else but the capital projects. So that's something everybody needs to understand. The way that we have our new accounting system set up, we can track that money. And what Tim was saying, and I've heard this for years because I've been a member a long time, about the volunteer breakfast was supposed to be earmarked for something. But there's nothing in any of the minutes that we've researched that can come up with anything. It's all hearsay. Not saying it didn't say it, okay, by no means. But all we can find is hearsay. We can't find it in any of the old records of our ex-accounting firm, so it's hard to track that. So what we will promise you we have today in place is any time money is donated, no matter if you're at the front office and you say, here's my gate card, I don't want my money back, I want that $10 or whatever to go into whatever, they can do it at that point, and we keep track of donations. Thank you.
All right, and then our final discussion on transparency. Oh, yes.
Come on.
Hi, my name's Sherry House. I worked over at the lodge, and I remember having the sheet that said that we were taking donations for those lights to light up the walkway. So you're saying you can't find anything on that, where that money went, other than it went to general?
Correct. We have not been able to locate anything like that. If anybody has something that's a minute or something that we've missed, that we can find it, by all means, we'll look it up and see what we can do about it. But as of today, we've not been able to find where anything was earmarked.
I also want to add that the long-term planning committee, lighting along the trail is something that has come up a lot and is something we do want to happen down the line, regardless of whether or not money was set aside for it or not in the past. It's been a topic of conversation. Probably not the light poles that we were talking about. We've got a landscape architect that is looking at doing uplighting into the trees that we think will look more aesthetically pleasing. That's a project I would like to see happen. I know that I've been told by 100 members that there was printouts, and everybody going to the breakfast thought they were given to that. And if that's the case, it is absolutely a shame that somebody didn't, in our system, make sure that money was earmarked and set aside for those projects. It didn't happen, but I can tell you one thing, as the general manager, if you donate something to Treasure Lake and it's earmarked, it will only be spent on what you earmark it for. That is my personal promise to you, okay? While I'm here, that will never happen again.
My other question is, I don't understand at the breakfast, there's a tip jar for the kids. What is that about?
Yeah, so our food and beverage, just like when we had kids serving in years past, when you gave tips, those tips went to those kids for cleaning up tables and bringing out your meal to you. Same thing in Rock and Roll Cafe. Cafe workers split those tips.
So when you say cafe workers, are you saying that, like when we had our tip jar, that money was given at the end of the year for all of the workers to be able to go out and have a nice dinner or have, go to a show or something like that? I don't see anything for the workers themselves. Is that being passed over this year?
No, they're a part of that tip split. And in years past, what they did at the Rock and Roll was they kept all those. Here's the problem with that. Financial transparency is extremely important, right? And when I found out that there was money, and I'm not saying anybody did anything nefarious with it, but it makes me very nervous to know that there was money that was being held, and then somewhere down the line, they were going to use that money to then go buy a dinner and a show for somebody. I'm happy to do that, but it needs to flow through the organization and again be earmarked. Right. These are tips for a celebration dinner for Rock and Roll staff at the end of the year, but it has to be accounted for. And that wasn't the case always in the past.
So you're saying that it wasn't turned in each week when we turned in the other money?
Correct. There was times when those tips were not turned in. So I'd rather have those tips just dispersed immediately to the people that are working that day, because we have volunteers that come and go, and maybe they're not here at the end of the year.
So maybe we need to change what that says on that little jar, because to me, that money is going towards the kids. It doesn't say anything about and the volunteers, does it?
I'm not sure. I have to
Yeah,
look at the.
and I
look
know
at
the
sign.
kids,
I can
a
take
lot of
look at
times
it.
will get money off the table, and then what they do, what we did, is we would go back and we would count all the money that the kids got, and then we would split that money between them, but the tip jar stayed with the restaurant.
Gotcha.
So I just
I'm
was
happy to
curious
take a
about
look
that.
at it. Yeah, and if we need to update signage to make it more clear where that money's
Yeah.
going, I'm happy to do that.
I was just worried that the guys, everybody that's worked so hard at that restaurant this year, you know, may not be able to celebrate at the end of the year, so.
Yeah.
And I also want to know, do we have plans to be able to open that restaurant and that lodge earlier next year and not lose out on all this money we lost out on this year?
That is absolutely the goal.
Oh, good.
100%.
All right, that's good to hear.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We have just a couple of minutes left. Gary wants to talk a little bit about financial transparency. Oh, Dusty is now? I'm sorry. Dusty.
We understand concerns about financial transparency. We want to be very clear. The board is committed to full transparency, but also to accuracy. Over the past year, we've discovered significant misrepresentations from prior management, and we are in the process of correcting and rebuilding our financial systems. Part of that effort is bringing accounting functions in-house so we can ensure accuracy and accountability. Unfortunately, the accounting firm we have been using consistently provided inaccurate information. Until we are confident our financial reports are reliable, we are sharing a simplified statements that show the big picture, where we are, and the progress we are making as we dig out of this hole. This approach protects the organization and its members by avoiding the release of information that could mislead or misrepresent. Our commitment is that once we are confident in the accuracy of our records, we will return to providing detailed, regular reports.
All right. Well, that concludes our little Facebook, social media discussions of what we've determined. And each meeting we will try to, I mean, like I said, we don't troll social media, but if something comes to our attention and we can address it publicly to everybody, we will strive to do that in the future. So we're going to conclude our meeting today.
I got one other thing I
I'm
need
sorry.
to do. Mr. James Stockwell, can you come up here for just a minute, please, sir?
James Stockwell to the front.
So when I told the board that the election committee had to sign on a sheriff, they asked if there was a badge. And I said, no, we don't have a badge. And Tim made sure that a badge was printed. So I was going on to the Treasure Lake election sheriff badge. So this has to be there anytime you're on official duty.
James, thank you for all you do.
All right, now that concludes our meeting for today, and we hope you'll stick around for our candidate forum to begin shortly. Yeah.
That's why I was asking about page numbers, and then we're getting out like I thought was it.
So